there is no rocket science to analytics, frankly speaking, because Facebook advertising can be quite straightforward and simple. I'm going to share with you my framework on how I do this. Running ads on Facebook is actually the easiest part. Everybody with an ad account can just kickstart, right? But analytics is actually the next biggest question. So how do we actually do that? Now, let me take you right into the ads manager. And yeah, this is a campaign that we have been running. I'm actually looking at this month data itself. So basically, you go through the steps with me, right? So first thing first, I usually start with the performance metrics over here. Then after that, I'll pull out certain key metrics. Pretty much depends on what kind of campaign you are running, but I would always start with a simple benchmark. Now, first thing first, I will always start with CTR. I'll take this first and second, and continue with CPM. Okay, then frequency, and like click. I would take all the clicks. That's depending. I mean, of course, some people would like to have the cost per click and all this kind of thing. Nothing wrong about that. I mean, I'm just saying that you can do whatever you want. I'm just going to show you what I do. So if you actually bring people to landing page, then you can start with landing and you can end with whatever you want, like initiate checkout, for example, and purchase. That's for e-commerce. And if you have something else, then you can always go for what do we call, like lead or something like that. I mean, depending on what you do, right? So yeah, we're just going to apply this. So this is how it works, right? I'm just going to go in and this is how it works. Hang on, what am I saying? So let's go into the masterclass, which I was briefly running for, for this month itself. So yeah, CTR, all, and link click. Basically, these are the two key metrics that we look at to determine whether the creative is resonating with the audience or not. So CTR, all, the benchmark is 2%. CTR link click, the benchmark is 1%. But this also depends on the audience that you're targeting. Like if you're targeting broad audience, as in like cold audience, I mean, we can tolerate lower CTR sometimes as long as the CPM is doing all right. But then again, that's the balance of it, right? So if you have generally lower CTR than the benchmark, well, you can actually possibly test your so-called different creative and see whether we can actually bring it up. Then followed by CPM. CPM is really about the audience that you're targeting, or so-called the market that you're targeting. So we have no control over CPM, but we will monitor the benchmark of it. So yeah, some markets that has lower CPM, then you probably can enjoy more reach, like with the same amount that you're spending. But generally, that's something that we monitor. And we look at the frequency. Now, when it comes to frequency, that means how many times your ads has been shown to the same audience in general on average for that particular duration. So benchmark here is below 2. But if you do retargeting, we can tolerate higher. Like over here, you can see the retargeting is coming up to 5. So yeah, then we look at, this is on ad optimization, which is like we look at, these are all the possibilities. Like if the CPM is too high, then we can test different audience, different placement and stuff like that. And yeah, then we follow by all the numbers coming in, like clicks, link clicks, unique, outbound, landing. So these are all on ads optimization. So like, for example, if you have very high link click, very high differences between link click and unique link click, like over here, you have 16 and 10. That means people actually click multiple times. This is all right for retargeting, but if you have this kind of situation for a broad targeting campaign, that means your ad are probably being locked up to a bunch of people. So that's not really a good thing. So you probably have to do something like apply some exclusion and something like that to see whether we can actually release it to reach more new audience, especially for broad targeting, broad campaign. We want to reach more people. That's how the whole thing flows into our campaign, right? Then after that, we look at the off ads optimization, which is what happened after the click. Okay, so yeah, so that's how the whole thing works, right? Optimization. Analytics is actually meant for optimization. The reason why we analyze is because we want to find out how do we do better on the campaign itself, right? So how do we improve and stuff. So these are on ads, and we talk about the off ads. I mean, usually we start with outbound to landing. So over here, one of a very key top, like metric we look at is from the outbound click, how many actually landed. So this is a very critical metric. So if you have less than 50% landed, that means probably your landing page is not loading fast enough and stuff like that. So these are the possibilities that may cause the situation to happen. And of course, the next thing we look at, add to cart, initial checkout and stuff. So usually we want to have about 20% conversion from one step to another. Like here, 32, and we have more than that initial checkout, probably because people will keep coming back. They will like considering they want to come back and, you know, like they want to read about it, or they were sharing to their friends and all this kind of thing. And from initial checkout, we want to have 20% of purchase as well. So for here, we're not seeing it at the moment, but we do have purchase, but it's not being attributed to the campaign itself. So that's what's happening. So yeah, I mean, essentially, off ads optimization involves a lot more on the landing page or the so-called the customer journey kind of optimization. Say, for example, if you have really high drop from landing page view to add to cart, meaning like, for example, you've got 100 people landing, and out of which only like 2% of them actually added to cart, which we want it to be at least 10% and above, right? But if that's happening, then probably we want to see if there is anything we can do on the landing page itself to actually encourage your audience to take the action, or to make it clearer, to tell them what you want them to do. So these are all the things that we can actually do in terms of the optimization. So yeah, so that's the meaning of, that's how I analyze, and that's how I, you know, interpret the data and optimize the campaign from one point to another. So that's that, right? So that's about the question. So just in case if you're running ads, you are interested to learn more about analytics, and you want to actually have somebody like me to analyze your campaign to see what's going on in your campaign, what have you done right or wrong, and to build a plan. I mean, the idea here is, like I say, the reason we analyze is to optimize, right? So if you want to do that with your current campaign with me, I'm inviting you to scan this QR code to, this is a Fiverr gig of mine, where you can actually buy me a dinner. Then we can spend 30 minutes on Zoom or more to mainly share your screen, and we will analyze your campaign and data. So I'll dive in with you, pretty similar to what we did, but because it is your campaign, right? And because I have a little bit more experience, I've been doing this for a while, so I probably can spot different optimization opportunities. And from there, we will build a plan. Like, oh, should we tweak the creative? Should we change the audience targeting? Or should we optimize the landing page and stuff like that? So these are all the things that we can do together within this, you know, like this Zoom call. So if you're interested in that, scan this QR code, and, you know, I look forward to work with you. So that's that. But if you just want to, like, oh, you probably feel that when it comes to Facebook advertising, you have run some ads, dabble a bit, but you want to have a more kind of like an all-rounded kind of proper training to help you understand Facebook advertising better, then you can actually scan this QR code to join my Facebook Ads Masterclass. So this is a recorded 2.5-hour online training. So what I do is I talk about a few things. So first, I share with you my Facebook Ads strategy framework, as in like, how do we do top of funnel? How do we do retargeting? How do you do audience targeting, audience exclusion, you know, stuff like that. So that's that. And then I will also share with you the objective selection, as in like there are many objectives available. Which one should we choose? Which one should we optimize for, depending on the situation, to help you make a better decision. And I'll share with you my signature audience targeting techniques. I think 5 of them, to really help you pinpoint the right audience for your campaign. And followed by, you know, like the ads creative recommendations, because I work with clients from all around the world. So from there, we learn what are the so-called, what do we call the design directions that work and doesn't work. Just want to give you a heads up not to make the same mistake as them. And followed by the analytics, very similar to what we did, but more in-depth discussion about some case studies on what you can do from there. So it's a 2.5-hour training. It's a recorded one. Once you scan this QR code, you can sign up and you can access it to it right away, and the future updates as well. Because I would actually do a refresh every 3 to 6 months, or whenever they have new features and stuff like that. So you will always get the latest option. So this is that. If you want to do that, scan this QR code, and I look forward to work with you. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Remember to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.